Welcome, Earth travelers, to the 32nd episode of Astrology Roadshow. I am your host, Laura Kane. Thanks for tuning in today to explore what the universe is offering up in 2026. There is a lot of excitement building, and for good reason. This coming year can be considered a sort of culmination of the buildup of energy and anticipation we've been experiencing since 2020. That's when I first started these videos, and it seems like my life has been doing some serious shape shifting since then. I feel sure many of you might feel the same. This renewal process continues along several astrological fronts during 2026, and it can no longer be denied. In fact, as individuals have been overhauling their personal lives, the same is true of the collective. As above, so below is our parallel experience to planetary energy and frequencies. It can also be expressed as within, also without, since we are certainly reflecting all this new energy off of each other. In fact, you could make the analogy comparing the outer energy to our entire collective undergoing a cosmic update. It is the beginning of the end now for final installations. Events will unfold, allowing us to really catch a glimpse, to understand, feel, and imagine what the brave new world has in store for us on the horizon. Before we get underway, now would be a great time to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Astrology Roadshow videos highlight the symbolism which our universe is constantly communicating to help you engage more consciously with the big picture and your individual journey. In most recent videos, I referred to some of the change in energy manifesting as a crossover road where our dreams start to come alive. Neptune has been slow dancing arm in arm with many other planets from the territory of Pisces through the world point and into Aries. In early 2026, the final approach will occur. More previous Astrology Roadshow episodes explain that we are no doubt experiencing the real dawning of the age of Aquarius, with the Earth's axial precession of the vernal equinox pointing towards this area. This humanitarian sign energy will continue to orchestrate all other changes. Pluto is symbolically spearheading that transformation and is rotor-rootering its way through the very earliest degrees of Aquarius, basically since 2020. Pluto and Neptune outer energy shifts are not alone. Oh no, the final upgrade is Uranus, changing residence in 2026 from Taurus into Gemini. Worth repeating, since I've mentioned it in the past, these simultaneous outer transits to new sign energies have not happened in recorded history. The rhyme and reason is there, and it will become obvious, which will fortunately help us to understand how we work in tandem with the universe. It is a most amazing time to be alive as a student of astrology, using its principles to personally witness the workings of the cosmos. Let's now tune into cosmic frequencies by checking out some highlights and timing as energies in our solar system arrive at a peak in 2026. Episodes will dive deeper as noteworthy transits occur. As always, you can refer to the areas of your birth charts to get a heads up on how all this is personally prompting you to upgrade in certain different areas. If you need help with your chart, please reach out and email me at ars@astrologyroadshow.com. We begin with the Chinese New Year of the Fire Horse on February 17th. The Chinese New Year traditionally falls on the second new moon after the winter solstice. This new moon aligns with 2026's first solar eclipse, making it an auspicious event. Not surprisingly, a 60-year cycle began anew in 2020, according to the ancient Chinese calendar. We will now be at the halfway point of the first 12-year zodiacal calendar cycle, of which the bigger, more complex cycle is comprised. By all accounts, this has been a tough introduction to new overall energy, suggesting 60 years from 2020 may very well be unrecognizable. The upcoming February 17th eclipse, occurring during this particular lunar new moon, foretells more pivotal energy is coming our way during the upcoming Year of the Horse. Be sure to tune into the next episode of Astrology Roadshow, which will celebrate the fire horse and your Chinese horoscopes for the coming year. On February 20, Saturn and Neptune conjunct at 0 degrees 45 minutes of Aries. This is the world point and beginning of the Western zodiac calendar. The other personal planetary dance partners have moved on, but due to retrogrades, these two slower entities are participating in a fortifying marathon grand finale. As with the eclipse several days earlier, this event is also significant because of the overall planetary timing. But where it occurs in our zodiac and the great symbolism of this degree out of the other 360 possible suggests an absolute reset and upgrade is happening. We can dissect the meaning of both of these planets to understand how this reset area within our natal charts will be emphasized to assure their legacy remains a major force going forward. Saturn will certainly flesh out and bring forward disciplined energy to Neptune's creative influence. More triggers will occur if you have natal planets within orb in the very late or early degrees of aspect to the world point. It is likely possible the Neptune-Saturn conjunction occurs in the house previous to the one Aries rules in your chart. As such, the Pisces house description will serve as an Aries pathway to fulfill the purpose of that house of Aries. This final ingress of both Saturn and Neptune into Aries will serve to activate many preparations that we've been making and ideas. Because this is the world point of Aries, it is all extremely personal. We will want to bring forth those hopes for our ideas now. Step up and pay heed to our individual call to action. Uranus will enter Gemini on April 25th, 2026. This will be the final reboot, and it will likely act as a speedy catalyst to make a lot of the overall changes come about sooner rather than later. Basically, Uranus here is very conducive to all sorts of communication, technology, and genius. Of course, that can be a blessing or a curse if one is not aware of the pitfalls of too much of a good thing. There are always positive and shadowy attributes, and here is a rundown on what to expect within your natal house of Gemini. Uranus will travel the first 5 degrees of Gemini during the entirety of 2026. Look to your chart for triggering natal points and planets. There will be a growing impetus to communicate our humanitarianism as that pertains to Aquarian energy. Pluto is underway with its slow transit into Aquarius, and now Uranus, ruler of Aquarius, is in closer and closer harmonious trine aspect to Pluto. Combined with the closer sextile aspect from Saturn and Neptune, we will be compelled to make these ideals creatively come alive and determined to go through our metamorphosis. It will all work to benefit the collective, which outer planets are responsible for, but it actually speaks to us more so as individuals. In this case, there is an I in the word teamwork. It is always good to keep in mind the why of our evolution on a personal level. This is seen in the natal position and house placement of these planets. Its subsequent transit and journey after birth is how we grow. But it all speaks to what needs to develop, and that is what our natal charts reveal. Jupiter enters Leo on June 30th. It spends approximately 1 year in each sign, and next year we will go over this transit and horoscopes. Leo energy is partner to Aquarius. And in 2026, that partnership will come joyfully alive as benefic and spiritual Jupiter transits here, but also because the nodes change signs and that axis moves into this domain for 18 months. On July 27th, the North Node transits into Aquarius from Pisces and the South Node into Leo from Virgo. Jupiter and the nodal change will further double down focus onto Aquarian themes. Leo is ruled by the Sun, and because it is hosting the South Node, It will help to add much fuel to the fire of your Aquarian house objectives. Jupiter's influence, as well as the nodes, will result in an even greater positive contribution to the already harmonious trine and sextile activations by Uranus, Neptune, and Saturn. Here are the date and degree placements for upcoming eclipses in 2026. As mentioned, there is an annular solar eclipse on February 17th. The next solar eclipse of the year occurs on August 12th. After the nodes change signs, we'll cover chart configurations and eclipse impacts in detail next year. For now, use this as a heads up if you have planets or points directly affected by major eclipse energy, especially conjunctions. There will be watery Mercury retrogrades in 2026, and here are the dates for those. That will have our thoughts and communication styles diving deep into possible emotional and shadowy characteristics of respectively Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. There will be a Venus retrograde this year, technically starting on August 31st, beginning with the shadow period and officially ending December 15th. This occurs between 22 degrees Libra and 9 degrees of Scorpio. Venus retrogrades occur every 18 months. Details on this and corresponding horoscopes will also be covered as we get closer. Mars does not go retrograde in 2026. I want to end the summary of 2026 highlights with an honorable mention to the planet Eris, which is more outermost in our solar system than the esteemed Pluto. A very early episode of Astrology Roadshow covered the merits of Eris, but I think it is well worth being reminded that the still mostly unconscious power of this newly discovered planet continues to transit Aries during our lifetime. It is without fail the vibrational energy that has never given up transmitting from this area. If we could appeal to the spirit of Eris's degree position within Aries in our charts, and its current transit location at 24 degrees 43 minutes of Aries, that would add a positive and pioneering contribution to our efforts. So 2026 will be super interesting and exciting, and for those with astrological curiosity, it is nothing short of fascinating. Perfect is the cosmic energy in its graceful delivery of the powerful and quick changes. The synchronicity of the outer planets and nodes express awesome intelligence for us to model. Changing vibes will never be easy to assimilate, nor should they be. Keep on the lookout for doors to your visions opening up and new paths becoming more and more obvious. Take the chance on yourself. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thanks very much for tuning in. Let me know if you have questions or comments, and of course, likes and shares are so appreciated. I wish you the very best this holiday season and great blessings for a start in 2026. Out with the old and in with the new will ring very true this coming year. Be safe, take care, and as always, I look forward to catching up with you at the next episode.